So last weekend, my Aunt Marjorie called to ask if I could dog sit her precious little Napoleon while she went to a 3-day silent meditation retreat, which, if you know Aunt Marjorie, is truly a miracle in itself. I was actually kind of excited. I figured worst case, I'd spend the weekend with some droopy-eyed poodle who'd ignore me, and best case, I'd get some free snacks out of her pantry. When I arrived, she handed me a small, wriggling bundle in a harness and said, "He has a big personality, but don't let him boss you around." That was my first clue something was off, but I just nodded and waved as she drove away. The dog in question was suspiciously long, suspiciously slinky, and immediately began investigating every corner of my apartment with the precision of a tiny, furry submarine. 30 minutes in, he'd already stashed 2 socks, a remote control, and, somehow, an entire banana under my couch. I tried to read his collar, which just said General Nibbles, Conqueror of Toes. At this point, I was starting to suspect Aunt Marjorie's definition of dog was more philosophical than biological. By nightfall, General Nibbles had declared war on my slippers, launching midnight raids from under the couch and dragging them, despite being twice his size, into what I can only assume was his secret lair. I tried to distract him with dog treats, but he just sniffed disdainfully and went back to plotting his next campaign. My roommate came home, took one look, and said, "Dude, that's a ferret, not a dog." I responded, "Tell that to the general. He doesn't accept surrenders, only tribute." So, after a long weekend of negotiating peace treaties with a carnivorous tube sock, I called Aunt Marjorie to ask if she knew her dog was, in fact, a ferret. She just cackled and said, "Oh darling, he's whatever he wants to be. But you might want to check your slippers, he's been known to annex footwear. I guess you could say. He's a real soul dictator."